Long ago, there was an old king who ruled over a powerful kingdom. He had everything: authority, wealth, an elite army, and the admiration of his people. But his heart was not as strong as his throne. When he won a battle, he rejoiced so much that he forgot caution. When he lost or when things went slightly wrong, he fell into despair. The king soon realized that he could not control his own emotions. One day, he summoned the wise men of the court and said,
"Bring me a gift that will keep me calm when I rejoice, and strong when I suffer."
The wise men discussed for many days, yet no one could find an answer. Only one old sage with silver hair stepped forward and offered the king a simple silver ring. The king was puzzled. But when he looked at the inside of the ring, he saw 4 small engraved words: "This too shall pass." The old sage said,
"When you are proud and overflowing with happiness, look at this ring to remember that joy is not eternal. When you are in despair, look at it and know that pain will also fade. Everything in life changes. Only a steady heart will carry you far."
The king said nothing, but he kept the ring with him. Not long after, an enemy launched a sudden attack. The soldiers panicked. The court fell into chaos. The king stood in the middle of the turmoil, nearly losing his sense of direction. In his confusion, his hand brushed against the ring, and he saw the tiny words again:
"This too shall pass."
In that moment, his mind became still. He immediately regained his composure, gave clear commands, led the counterattack, and ultimately won the battle. When he returned, the people celebrated with great joy. But amid the cheering crowds, the king looked at the ring once more.
"This joy will also pass."
He simply smiled, neither arrogant nor overindulgent, calm, as if his heart had finally learned how to remain steady sometime later. The queen, the person the king loved most, passed away from illness. The grief struck him so deeply that he nearly collapsed. He locked himself away for many days, silent and heartbroken. One night, tears kept falling without end. His hand tightened around the ring. The engraved words appeared once more:
"This too shall pass."
The king broke into tears, but this time it was a cry of release. He knew he would remember the queen for the rest of his life, but he also knew that the sharp edge of the pain would soften with time. The next morning, he stepped out of his chamber with a calmer heart. He understood that no emotion lasts forever. Many years later, when he had grown old and weak, the king called the crown prince to his side and handed him the silver ring.
"My son, the throne is a responsibility, but this ring is what will keep your heart steady."
The prince asked.
"Is it just a ring?"
The king smiled.
"No, it is wisdom. When you are joyful, it reminds you not to be arrogant. When you are sorrowful, it reminds you not to despair. When you feel lost, it helps you return to yourself. You only need to remember these 4 words, and you will never fear the changes of life."
Life is a continuous flow. Joy does not stay forever, and neither does sorrow. Everything comes and goes in its own time. This too shall pass is the reminder not to cling to happiness, not to drown in pain, and to learn how to stand steady amid change. When you understand that everything is temporary, you become less afraid and more at peace with yourself.